Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the
Following contest is scheduled for the Angels Championship. Introducing first, from San Dimas, California, Delilah Doom.
Ever since I was about 9 or 10, I was a huge wrestling fan growing up. I hung out with the boys who watched wrestling, and when I saw China, that's when I was like, oh my god, she's awesome. I want to do what she does, and I was like, I'm gonna be a wrestler when I grow up. I'm gonna be a wrestler.
Hailing from Converse, Texas, he is the former RCW champion, Super Shot, Joey Spector.
The earliest wrestling experience I can remember is as a kid. I would often catch the Saturday morning TV show of wrestling. I would see guys like Coco Beware and Bret Hart and Undertaker. I just thought it was really neat. Like, as a kid, when you see somebody like the Undertaker come out and acting like they're a dead guy, basically, you kind of believed it.
When I was in high school, I wanted to go to wrestling school. There was a place in Massachusetts, and my parents said, no, absolutely not. You're going to college. And I was like, okay, so I got put on the back burner. And when I was 25, that's when I moved to Austin. And after a week of living here, I went to my first local show. That's when the fire inside of me it lit back up. I was like, I still want to do this. So after the show, I talked to some of the wrestlers, and I was like, I'm really interested. This is what I've always wanted to do. How do I do this? And they pointed me in the direction.
When I was in high school, you couldn't walk down the hallways without anybody having t-shirts, and me and my friends were known as the wrestling group at school. I was watching Fox News, and there was a segment called Walton's Window at the time, and I noticed he was at a wrestling ring, and I was like, what the heck? When I saw that there was another company in town, I immediately contacted them, and they told me that if you were under 18, as long as you had parent permission, they would let you train. And literally the next morning, I went to wrestling practice.
My first match, I made my debut for ACW February 23rd in 2014. And, it was a tag match, so it could have gone way worse. But I think because it was a tag match, it was okay. But I can tell you, I haven't, the majority of my matches when I first started out are terrible. They're so bad. And that's okay, because it's a learning experience. So, I look back and watch them now, and I'm like, oh my God. And I can see how much I have improved, but how much more I still need to work on and learn.
My first match was March 3rd, 2001. It was 3 months into me training, which I think was way too quick of time. Looking back, honestly, I was not ready at all. I was so afraid of messing up, and to me, that's the least important thing to think about. If you mess up, just keep going if you're out there. But at the time, as a 15-year-old kid going out there and performing in front of people, it was something that was definitely out of my element. I actually did not win a match until almost 2 years into my wrestling career. I mean, I don't have the appearance of a wrestler. I don't have the stature. I'm not 6'2". I'm not jacked. So getting that first win against somebody was like about time. Like, I didn't want to sound like I deserved it or whatever, but 2 years of being a jobber is just, after a while, it's like, man, dude, I just want one win at least. I don't want to be like a career loser.
I mean, it's always exciting. The first time they're like, oh, hey, you're up. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. But, to me, that's not the important isn't winning or losing. It's putting on a good story, showing, a good show for everyone, the audience.
The promoter / trainer of the first place I wrestled and trained at, which was called American Championship Wrestling, he told me he wanted me to do a Darth Maul gimmick, so I had to try to paint my face like Darth Maul, which it was not that good. Like, it was probably the worst Darth Maul cosplay ever. And the guy was like, hey, let's just call you the Spectre. I wrestled as that, and then eventually I just called it like Spectre was the name. But the Joey part actually came from one of my mentors, Manny Fernandez. He's as old school gets. When they call him the Raging Bull, he lives up to that, because you know, like in a blink of an eye, he can show his bull temper. He was just calling me Joey the whole night, and I was so scared to correct him that wasn't my real name. And I honestly did not tell him until maybe about a year later that wasn't my real name, after I knew that I had, like, I guess a little student mentor relationship with him. But I thought about it and I was like, Joey Spectre, okay, I could do that. I could maybe have like a generic sounding, I guess, wrestling name.
Champion, Super Shot, Joey Spectre!
I've only used Delilah Doom. That's been my only character. That's the name I came up with when I was like 18 as like an alter ego. And so when I started training, I kept that in the back. I just wanted to use that name. It's another person that I've built. So I wanted to use that, and coming up with my actual gimmick. I used to wear leg warmers to training. And one of my friends was like, you should do like an 80s gimmick. And it just clicked. I was like, yeah, totally. Because I mean, I am from the 80s and I love neon colors, and everything from the 80s is stuff that I love. So it just came natural to me, and it's my personality, but it's turned up like 1,000. So it's not too hard to portray this character, because it really is just me just bumped up a little bit. My main goal, obviously, is to get to WWE. I think that's the top of the top. I would love to go to Japan, so that's something I got an offer, so I'm able to take them up on it at the time, hoping it's still there for me when I am ready. And just, I love traveling, so I'm hoping with wrestling I can travel with it.
I would like to try to give it one more good shot. Last year or 2 years ago, I tried to do the Tough Enough thing, and that kind of awakened me a little bit. So I've been hitting the gym as much as I can. I would like to try to give it one more shot, maybe even, because I've done house shows with WWE. I've done stuff as an extra where they take local guys and have them be like EMTs or, you know, fans in the audience. I've done stuff like that, but I would like to have maybe a dark match eventually, or a tryout. And if that doesn't happen, I would say probably in about 5 years, maybe, I would like to start doing maybe referee work, maybe try to go as a referee and work my way up that way, maybe ref for WWE eventually. I think that would be something that I would like to do.
You're talking.